IDW came out with their Star Trek 500 last week, and it is a complete abomination to the series, especially the original series. Now, this is an anthology. I don't know what Heather Antos is thinking. She keeps coming out with these anthology comics, and if you don't know what those are, it's short stories that all just are in there, and they don't really connect or anything. But she does a lot of these. They just came out with a Pride Month one earlier. They called it Star Trek Celebrations, which was all about just gay crap. And then they've done this before with Star Trek 400 and a couple of others. And it's short stories that really don't go anywhere. And a lot of these people who get hired don't even know how to write short stories, to be honest, because there's not enough there. But a lot of them are just references to other things, and so you're supposed to like see a reference from another perspective or whatever from the episodes that actually had stories, and you're supposed to get in on the member berries there. But this is like some of the worst stuff. Heather actually hired Patton Oswalt to get in on this, who I don't even think actually wrote this. I'll show you why in just a second. And I'm glad that Bleeding Cool had this up here because I didn't want to actually set up a camera and try to get my actual issue out. But this was a train wreck like I've never seen. It's the utter destruction of Star Trek. It is an abomination. And it actually might even be worse than the Pride Month one. It's that bad. Let's get into this news and check this out. My name's John Delarose, everybody, and I actually have my own science fiction property here. It's called The Hidden Emperor. We just hit $51,000 on Kickstarter with this campaign, and it's a wonderful book that has a real full story action adventure. This is what, honestly, she should be having me writing Star Trek comics because I know the series way better than anybody over there. And you can still get this on BackerKit. I have every iteration of it. Book one actually here is Overmind, and you can get it in paperback or hardcover. You can get the Hidden Emperor paperback or hardcover. And I have all of my comics and all of my novels on here. So there's a lot to go choose from and look at. I've been just absolutely working real hard and very prolific here. Something that speaks to you. Go check it out and support our channel. Thank you guys so much for buying independent comics. This link's in the description below. And I think I told you to hit the like and subscribe button already, but if I didn't, please do so. Okay, so let's look at this right here. This starts out, and you can see like they hired a cheap artist to work with Patton Oswalt and the like, and you can see here this list of Star Trek 500 is just a disaster, by the way. So it's written by Jordan Blum and Patton Oswalt, so it's really not much going on there with Patton Oswalt. He probably just conceptually did it and then just fired it off. It's based on Trouble with Tribbles. And then you get into the other stuff here. You've got Jodie Hauser, you got Mags Visaggio, Stephanie Williams. Those are all like the feminist, feminazi, transgender, LGBTQ Whisper Network people under Heather Antos. So it's just a complete disaster all the way through this entire deal. But I'm going to focus on the Patton Oswalt one because that's what this is clearly meant to sell. Obviously, they were like, "Oh, Patton Oswalt's a celebrity. Let's try to get him in here to sell this stuff." And the rest of it was just trying to put her friends in there to do something. And they were all train wrecks, all of them. And so you get this right here. Every single one of them. It's like they had a Discovery one. They had a Strange New Worlds one. They had the Mags Visaggio one was a Lower Decks one. And so they're trying to push all three new shows, which is tough to get through just by itself. Then they do, of course, a Trouble with Tribbles thing to give you member berries. There's a Q Continuum one, which was okay, I guess. And then you get Latinum Glove, which spins out of another Heather Antos series called Dogs of War, which again, like that one was fine. That was a DS9 one. That's probably the best one in the whole thing. It was the only readable story. And then you get the Final Masterpiece, which ties into the Heather Antos Bad Fanfic series that's going on, which they're going to make an event of very, very soon. And so that's the entire deal right there. Now look at this. This is what they lead with and try to sell you with. Patton Oswalt, darkness, then light as hunger sets in, the hunger for food, and self-fornication. What the hell is going on here? And it keeps going in here, and this is from the perspective of the Tribbles. And the Tribbles then lust after Captain Kirk, my golden beloved. And the entire thing is this Tribble just having a weird sexual fantasy about Captain Kirk through this whole thing. It's so lame. I sing my siren song. I can't even read the thing because the resolution's too low with this deal. A bare bones serenade dripping with lust, hunger, and I can't read it. Oh well. But you can see what they're saying here. Squeak, squeak, squeak. It's lusting after Captain Kirk. This is a Tribble sexual fantasy in a comic. Now, Star Trek is known for having like these like weird ladies who write fan fiction. And this has been going on since back in the 70s when the conventions started hitting the circuit. These ladies would like mail each other fan fiction back and forth. And this is where like all the shippers and the shipping came from. And also they came up with a new genre of fan fiction, which is all about just making erotic things go on between the characters. And naturally, they did this kind of thing with Kirk and Spock quite a bit. It was disgusting. And you know, these things were just hushed about. They're bad fan fiction. They're things that like would not see the light of day. They certainly wouldn't be on an officially licensed product because, oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. It really is. And it should be embarrassing. This type of stuff is shameful, and you should feel shame for publishing this. Like, Heather Antos is out of her mind. Just because you put Patton Oswalt's name on it. I mean, this makes me think Patton Oswalt's a weird gay furry for Captain Kirk. What the heck is going on here? This is not something good. It's terrible writing. And as it goes through, it gets even weirder. As it, like, they've got the whole Patton Oswalt story on Bleeding Cool here. But this is where it just like went way and jump the shark. The moment arrives, and I cry out in ecstasy. This is it. Fur and flesh, first contact. And you see them like put a Captain Kirk butt right here. Can you imagine having to draw this? Oh my gosh. The poor artist. His luscious lumps lift me to new heights. Now, this is some of the worst writing I've ever seen. It is some of the worst fan fiction I've ever seen. It is so disgusting, it makes me want to vomit. This is an officially licensed Star Trek comic now at this point. This, like, Tribble weird fetish thing. And this is what they're all about. This is what the woke are all about. They want to insert their weird fetishes into everything. They want to force you to read it. They want to force this into everything. They want to normalize all the creepy stuff. And they want this whole world to just be this degenerate nightmare. And you can't tell stories anymore because this isn't a story. There already was a story with Trouble with Tribbles, and it like had a full good story. And this didn't do anything. It just has a Tribble ranting about Captain Kirk. If there was an editor worth anybody's salt on this, they would have said, hell no, we reject this, don't do this, and never submit to us again. Because that's what should happen. I've read Slush for short stories and things like this, and honestly, you just blacklist those type of stories because these things are an embarrassment to the magazine. It's an embarrassment to IDW. It's an embarrassment to Star Trek, and it's absolutely crazy that this is being allowed. Now, like I said, it doesn't have a story. Nothing else comes out of it. That's the end of it as it goes through here. And for some reason, they just publish that whole deal and have that going on. But none of the other stories are really worth their salt anyway. Like Jody Hauser can't write. Max Visaggio can't write. Stephanie Williams can't write. Like I said, the Mike Chen one is only cute if you actually read the whole graphic novel of the other one. It doesn't make sense otherwise. But at least it had Angel Hernandez art, who's pretty decent. And then the thing that they're trying to set up with this thing with their weird fan fiction universe, which I've ranted about in other videos, and I could again, was just unreadable. So you put out this like giant anthology, and how much does this cost? $6.99 US of these like short stories where half of them aren't even actual stories. It's really sad. This is like the destruction of Star Trek, and this is what it's come down to because nobody else wanted this license. Paramount was shopping it around this summer, and there was nowhere for them to go. And that's why IDW is moving away from licensing at this point because they know this isn't making money. There's nobody in their right mind who wants to buy this. You can label it 500 like it's a milestone issue, but they haven't had a continuous series for real. Yes, they've published 500 comics over the course of IDW's history, but this is not like some continuation. There's nothing going on here. There's no continuity to look forward to. It's just a complete degenerate train wreck, and that's Patton Oswalt and Heather Antos' fault. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to grab some real science fiction. This is real storytelling here, quite the opposite of what you've read. If you appreciate my analysis, you know I know how to write, and I'd love for you to check this out. It's in the description below. Support independent comics, and I appreciate you guys for all the heavy support of this book so far. Can't believe we got $51,000 on this, but the more they fail with their stuff, the more we have opportunity here. Thank you so much for being there.